Been a
There you go.
while. Tony Jones, Puts and Putts podcast back online.
I think it's been a month at
It's been a
least.
month. Well,
At
because
least.
I took my sweet ass time in Chicago. I thought I was going to be, still connecting with you on this, but what happened was I kind of took the time off, really.
You kind of said that from the jump, though. It wasn't a. There was no expectation for anything else.
No, and let me tell you guys and girls and whoever's watching the show, like at some point, if you get into doing this, and we talk a lot about setting these things up, but if you get into doing this stuff along the way, it's something we said before. It's like your buddy's not going to make it sometimes, you're not going to make it sometimes. And Tony, you've been great about this on the show about
Travel.
you've been
Do
great
some
about
shit.
like
Work.
just saying,
Kids.
hey, this is work and kids and life and this is awesome, and it is what
Because
it is.
I'm
So.
living it too, bruh. You mean I'm? That's the only way you can really understand.
Oh, you saw me at the Crunch when I was in Illinois. I got to throw a shout out to my
Oh, is that
cousin
what you're talking about?
Nate Saggi. He owns the Crunch in
That's
Hardin,
kind of cool.
Illinois.
I like that hat.
Oh, this is a nice hat. I walked
Yeah.
in and I was like, I'm taking this. And then I took like a shirt off the off his rack, and then I thought, then the next day I bounced him like 30 or $40 on Venmo, and he's like, and I was like, hey man, I sent you some change, and he's like, wow. He really appreciated it. I was like, well, I'm not going to walk in your crib and start stealing your gear. I mean,
Without paying you.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just support, if anything. And
it's
I'm sure
support.
he was. Yeah, I'm sure he would have been totally cool with it and wouldn't have thought anything else. But you got to support people.
Nah,
That's what I
I'm
was
his
talking about with
favorite
Goggins.
cousin. Yeah,
Let's talk about
that's
that with
exactly
Goggins.
right. Today you said that. You said, hey, Goggins has got a shop. I'm over here supporting him. And then you were talking about your Etsy shop and your camera stuff and like your
Exactly.
all. Do you sell photos on there too?
No, but I can
No.
actually. Here, hang on. Watch this. Hang on.
Yeah.
Check this out.
I'll beatbox while you're gone. No, guys, I won't do that. Look at my walls are bare in here. I trying to hang these guitars, and the microphones and stuff, but I just haven't gotten to it since I got back. But I got my Bob Ross wannabe painting right here.
What's that?
I was just talking to everybody about my how it
I
looks
saw
here.
you
It's
directing
really-
traffic. I thought you were
Well, I
doing
was
like a
like,
weather forecast.
all I have is my Bob Ross with a pissy weather front coming down, and then I don't have anything on the walls. What happened in
I
the
just-
background back there? You cleaned it.
I just cleaned it, yeah, because it was all nasty. I'm gonna redo it, but I have a badass printer, and I know where to get badass frames and everything really cheap. Check this out. So I printed this today, actually.
Oh yeah, I like that, man. That's what you were talking about. All this, like, are those just Nobel Prize winners? I mean, obviously, I see Freud and I see Einstein, and
Freud's not in there, but
no, who was that guy next to him?
it's all theoretical physicists and like quantum physicists and
That's where your head's going these days,
Schrodinger.
man.
He's in here. Heisenberg's in here. Einstein. Mary Curie's in here. Planck is in here. There's everybody's in here. I mean, this would, like I said, this would
What year was that taken? Does it say?
1927,
Hmm.
and it's in like
It's a
full
good
color.
year. Actually, it was probably a good year right before the crash. 29. Yeah, look at these guys.
Yeah, they were in Berlin. No. Belgium,
Belgium,
Belgium, Brussels, Belgium, Brussels.
Berlin.
I
You
don't
know, I
know
got
which one you
engaged
said
in Berlin,
first.
right?
Berlin. That's really cool, actually.
Dude, I'll tell you what. So living in America, we don't have this. Well, to some extent, we had the Civil War and whatnot, but and the Revolution and stuff. And but when
Revolution.
I'm in Berlin and I'm having coffee at outside of this church that got bombed, and I think I told you about this, but they left the rubble. They left.
dope.
Like they kind of cleaned it up, but like the rubble's there. You can see the top of the steeple's cracked in half, and it's like they
a
say they left
reminder.
it there as a reminder. You're exactly right.
Yeah,
I
no, I
mean,
love that stuff. I love that
gosh.
stuff. That's why I love history. Actually, before I got on here, I was walking on the treadmill and they have these guided, like exercise
Yeah, where'd you go?
programs and stuff. So I just was walking though. I didn't run or anything like that. And the one that I've been doing for the last 5 days or so is walking around Holland or Amsterdam.
Sure.
And he just takes you around the concentric circles that pretty much make up all of Amsterdam. And this dude lives there, and he's talking about like the history, like you're saying, how because the Germans took over there, as well. And
Yeah.
and he was talking about like how like some of the buildings even they were built like in the 1400s or something like that, and
So
because
cool.
this side of the building had shitty soil, the building started to tilt, so there's a whole row of houses and a whole section of houses where they're kind of tilted,
Yeah.
they're not straight, and it's hysterical because they left them. They
It
never
just
fixed it
like,
or
you mean
anything.
it was just like sinking into the muck?
Yeah, it was just sinking on one
That's
side. So
funny, man.
and they're just like, whatever. Let's just keep
Filth
going.
muck.
We're good.
Well, I love those buildings. I was in England a long time ago, and I remember going into like some place that was a bar and it was open as to like whatever, circa 1100, and how small the doorway was. You know,
Yeah.
like the doorway was like 5'5", and like you
Yeah.
ducked to go in. You know, and then you I think led on to this one time because how like short the ceilings were and everything. But you also said not that people were shorter; it was like heating. And like heating, how are you going to heat this place if you're, you know what I mean? It was like, it was
vaulted
more
ceilings and
functional than
shit.
it was
Oh,
for throwing
everything.
parties.
And you got to think like that was way, like you said, way back in the day before. I mean, like we can't even fathom what it's like to live in those times. You can't even wrap
No,
your head around
seriously,
it.
everybody just
Even seeing it
stunk
in the
like poop
movies
the
and
whole time.
shit,
Yeah.
even seeing pictures or paintings or whatever they had that you can, kind of see, how things were. It's you can't even imagine it unless and just wait for me to build the time machine, and then I'll take you back and we can do a podcast from there.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, if you would have built it, wouldn't we somehow? You should leave us a trail so we know if you built it already. Because like Bill and Ted's, they'll be like, "Oh wait, if we time," and then they just do it.
This is the kind of thing that I'm learning right now in quantum theory.
Yeah, well, while you have it, tell them about these guides real quick because these are really cool. And I don't know if you can show your stack, but your brain fascinates me, T, and that's why we get along so well. Is like you're reading this. Out of all the people that I know in this world, you're my only friend reading that, and I absolutely adore it. Yeah.
Yeah, here, hang on.
Here he goes. Hey, Gown. So turn off all your fascinating electronics over there because there was a little bit of you can't hear me anyway, but there's a little bit of latency for a minute.
Right here.
There you go. Let's see, man. Which one? Send me one when you're done. What should I read? Oh, Islam, Hinduism, Dakar. Oh, yeah, that's some good stuff there.
Let me put these down.
This guy. Your camera looks good, man. I don't know if it's something new. Your camera earlier looked really, really crisp. Unless you got a facial last week. I don't know.
It's just I'm very slimming.
Put some baby, what do they put? Testicle oil? No,
there is something. You're right.
Yeah, there is something. It's like
baby's blood.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's that.
This stack has psychoanalysis, Marxism, political philosophy, postmodernism, Nietzsche, or whatever, however you want to pronounce it, logic, chaos, critical theory. What the hell?
I kind of like the chaos idea. That sounds interesting. I mean, a lot of that stuff I've touched on only is a fingernail deep, but
these books are falling down over there. Like there's a ghost here. Hang on. You said chaos. I'm going to grab it.
Well, that would make sense. Order and chaos, Today, though, a lot of the stuff we were talking, I'm going to preface because I know we're just like catching back up.
Some weird ass shit.
I don't know what you're doing down there, but you, with your Ouija board stories and your ghost apps, I don't doubt it.
Chaos. Look
Nice, dude.
Like there's the first page. It's like the butterfly test
or
something.
The butterfly effect.
Keep talking. What were you saying?
Well, I was just going to talk about like the topics we wanted to talk about today, just to kind of jump in before we're 90 minutes in. But
and then we're like, what do you want to talk about?
And then we're like,
we're done. Take it easy, buddy.
Peace. I mean, typically the show is all about mind, body, and goal, really, because that's the things
good,
connect on. We connect on mind, and this is a perfect place for it. So, what you started with? Which book?
I was just
or you kind of bouncing.
Well, I had no idea what to look for, so I was just like, oh, I want to read a book about quantum physics or quantum theory, quantum mechanics, something like that. So I was looking on Amazon.
Okay, what sparked that? That's like key for me.
Okay, so when I started doing a bunch of the mining stuff, I was looking into how computers do what they do. And what's the deal with silicon? I mean,
and let me jump in for anybody that doesn't know, is he's built Tony's built a full mining rig in his basement, printing money right now. We haven't talked in a month, dude.
I can't. Oh, I actually.
You don't have to. I mean, well, no, it's all right. I'm just saying. You said mining, and so I wanted to preface because it's been a while.
Yeah. So this mining rig that I built, is running like a dream right now. It's over there clocking away. I'm going to get paid tonight on this bad boy. And I just wanted to see how everything works. And I hear a bunch about this, like, 5 nanometer, milestone, this 3 nanometer milestone, 7 nanometer. And it's all like
I didn't know
how
that.
small shit can get, and how many transistors and resistors and capacitors they can fit on these processing chips. And they just get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, so they can fit more and more and more and more. And that's why that number goes from like 7 nanometer down to 5 nanometer down to 3 nanometer. So I start looking into that type of stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty crazy. And then I see that like the next level beyond that is like quantum, and I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. What's this all about? And they're like, quantum computing is the next level. So I'm like, oh, what's that?
I've
So I
heard
looked
that.
into
Yeah.
what quantum computing was, and I went down that rabbit hole a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I just stopped, and I was like, oh, I just want to back up, because I want to learn what I'm actually even listening to. I don't know any of these players in this opera. I don't know any of the verbiage. I don't know any of the language. So let's just back up a little bit. I'm going to watch some YouTube videos on the history of quantum physics. I'm going to read a book, and then we'll go back into, seeing what the hell's going on. And then I was like, okay, what book do I get? Because I have no idea what book to get. So I wanted to get something that was like more layman style, easy to read, doesn't have a shit ton of math. It wasn't going to blow your mind as far as like, you needing a PhD to comprehend it.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
thin, it's little.
Ooh.
So I was like,
Was that 200 pages?
not even. It's like
150?
175. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what it does is it just is like a graphic guide. So I'm like, this is a fucking quantum theory graphic novel. I'm like, dude, I'm in. So I
Yeah.
bought this thing, and then I get it, and I'm like, oh, dude, this is so cool, because it gives you like all the players in the game. It gives you the history. It gives you some of the math and some of the science and some of the stuff that they're talking about, and how
Yeah.
shit is going, from the beginning till today. And it's just really, really cool, and it keeps your attention, and it's interesting.
It's
and
like
it's
written like a comic book,
yeah, dude, it's a comic book for quantum physics. How cool is that? But like I said,
Pretty
there's
cool.
still even math and shit in there. You can see it.
Yeah. Dude,
So
that's solid. I love that you're reading that. Usually there's a point to that. And so for you, I mean, for all of us, like there's something to it. And I mean, I know what you're into now, but like, how does that relate to like what your next, and maybe it's just brain power, maybe it's knowledge base at this point, but I know you're deep into computers and stuff. So where is that? How is that helping you, or you're not sure yet? Or is it an AI play too?
Yes, it's all of that. So there's, to me, like artificial intelligence and everything that's going to happen along with that is like the most important thing right now. So figuring out how that works and where that's going, and what's all consists of artificial intelligence, and leveraging it to take advantage of it more than anything, and almost like adopting it, and understanding that we've already let the genie out of the bottle. There's no turning back. So you're just going to have to learn how to adopt to this new technology and use it to your advantage. And maybe you can make a shit ton of money. Maybe you can free up some of your time, which is also money. Maybe you can do something, that you never thought you could possibly do. Like I was joking around just a minute ago about time travel and shit.
Yeah.
And if people always say too, if you don't set your goals high enough, and and you're not laughing at them, or if you're not laughing at the goals that you set, you didn't set them high enough. So like now when people see me reading quantum theory books and shit like this, and I just got a bunch of math books too. I'm just going back to the basics. I'm going to start in high school algebra.
You're the best, dude. You're
And
just
I'm going
the best.
to this is a workbook, where you actually have to do it. And then I got a pre-calc book too in the same series, and then a calculus book as well. So then I'm going to just keep going through these and just get my math skills back on par, so that I can even just think in mathematical terms, or just I want to try to solve some problems, some basic shit, and see where I'm at mentally. And then I want to take that another step. I want to knock on doors, and I want to go to Berkeley, and I want to say, hey, look, show me your quantum computer. I want to see it. And in order to be able to see something like this, right, you have to have some credentials. You have to have something going on. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen yet, but I want to do shit like that. Like I want to do something fucking crazy.
If you write the letter the right way,
or something like
to the
that,
right person, so they can see what's in your brain and what your thought is, because sometimes you can't, you know what I mean? It's like, or you have to stalk somebody at a Starbucks. Or you wouldn't work these days with masks on or something. But I might
leverage like a podcast thing or something, like you were, or some sort of entrepreneur thing that you could say your media or something like that, or I don't know. There's a ton of different ways
media
that could make this happen.
We could get in and do something on the place. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying.
We're with the DJ, so don't worry about it. He's like, what are you
Don't.
talking about?
We're good here. I know Bill
The
Clinton.
party's coming in. I know Bill Clinton.
Me and Bill are tight.
Dude, so, okay, I love it. When you text me that you were reading that stuff, I was like, damn, this guy's nuts, man. I love it. I love it so much. So,
But it's interesting, dude. It's really, really interesting. And the stuff that I'm learning isn't that crazy. And it's actually super cool. And it's super crazy because it kind of validates a lot of the things that I've always thought, but everybody is taught the exact opposite.
yeah.
Like some of the crazy shit with like entanglement and spooky action at a distance, and some of these things that they've observed and tested and actually seen happen. First it was all
So,
theory, but nowadays they've actually seen this and tested this
so
type of shit. It's real.
tell me this. Is this one of the things where it's like, this is crazy? They're like, okay, to be able to define whatever it is, you have to be able to measure something, right? And they're like,
yeah,
this is what they're
reproduce it.
saying. Like, they're like to measure it. And so they say that they can measure this thing, but if they look at it, then it's like, you can't
Yeah,
look at it. It's like
yeah.
there, but if you
Observing
look at
it,
if you
observing
observe
it changes the state of it.
Yes.
Yes.
So, isn't that insane? If you observe it, it changes the state of it. I mean, what
Yeah.
the, my brain will
it
melt.
turns them.
Like, I don't
It
even.
would be. I can explain it to you. So it's the equivalent of this. Okay, so
Mhm.
take 2 dice. Okay, you put those 2 dice into your little cup. Okay, and on the dice they have the same numbers. Everything's the same. When you roll these dice out of the cup, they go bouncing down the table. Now, the minute you turn and look at them, they stop and they're both on the same number every
Okay.
single time, no matter what. So, like, you roll it again, 3-3, but it doesn't. The dice don't stop on the number till you look at them. That's how that works. You follow what I'm saying? Then you put
I
them back in
get
the
that
cup.
story.
You roll them
yeah,
again. They
but
roll. You
just-
look at them, 1-1, and they cannot be different numbers. And here's the crazier part: if I pick up one of those dice, just one of those dice, the other dice will magically float in the air because it is entangled with that other dice.
That's brilliant. And it's stupid because unless it's some sort of energy related, like how can you look at something and it change? Just the fact that it's being observed, I don't even like comprehend. And that's why I would love to get into some of that stuff because
Just it just makes you think crazy. And
well,
like I
then,
said,
you can take it to any level and be like, well, what other
Any
things? And
level.
that's why people will say like, well, does a tree fall? There's a sign at
the
Hooters
same
that
thing.
says, there's a sign at Hooters I saw in Chicago that says, this sign is in Spanish when you're not looking, which I
you
always
go.
thought was the best sign in the world. That's so
That's-
funny.
so
The
you
sign,
know
until
that-
you look away and then you're thinking that sign's in Spanish. Like,
that's the Schrodinger's cat thing. Like they take a cat and they take like a vial of this radioactive material,
mhm.
and inside of there's like a hammer that will break this glass and spread the radioactive material and kill this cat, right?
Okay.
But there's this second, like between when, okay, so let's say you set this up and you're like, at the 10-minute mark, we're going to have this thing drop and we're going to have this thing break and it's going to kill the cat with
Yeah.
radioactivity, right? But it's in this box and you're not watching this happen.
Yeah.
So there's this time when you hit 10 o'clock, and that was when the thing drops to break the glass and it's going to kill the cat. But you're not watching this. Is the cat alive or dead at that moment?
At what moment? When the thing breaks?
Yeah.
I don't think it would die instantaneously, but I mean, if that's what it's supposed to do, then I mean,
How
I
do you
guess.
know?
Well, have we? I mean, I would like to know: has it been tested? Do we? You know what I mean? Like whatever we're dealing with, whatever.
Yeah, they did
element.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
Edward Schrodinger did this.
I guess you're right. You would have to see to make sure it's dead.
You'd have to see it.
Check. You'd have to check the pulse or whatever you wanted to see, right? You'd have to.
You'd have to observe it.
You'd
You'd
have
have
to
to
observe
actually observe the state of the cat to know whether it's alive or dead.
That's
So
valid. That's
so
valid.
if it's in the
So
box
stupid.
and the thing hits the little glass, it breaks the radioactive material.
Yeah.
You could reasonably say that the cat at that moment is alive and dead.
Yeah, I suppose. But because you don't know? Is that what you're laughing about?
Right.
I mean,
No, the pause.
Oh, yeah.
You're just like,
Well, also, I was like, did the internet just freeze? Like, no, because what I'm thinking is this.
That was
It's
crazy.
completely right. Because if you walked into a courtroom and were like, well, did you see him? And you're like, well, he was there, and then I left at 9:59. But or I was in the room, but well, did you see it?
It's not definitive.
Like, well, I didn't see it, but I'm sure he died because the thing fell. So they're like, well, there's reasonable doubt. I
Yeah.
mean,
All my science says that if this thing hits this, hammer, this gas is released within, 0 second,
yeah.
0.11 seconds, that will kill this cat from my experience and my experiments. So there is like 1 second where the cat is literally like alive and dead at the same time.
I don't know how that works.
You know what I'm saying?
No, not really.
Because
I
so
hear
here,
what you're saying, and I
so
understand.
so
the
here's
concept,
here's the craziest part.
you
You
know?
could lift up the box right then, and boom, the cat's still alive. But you could also lift up the box, boom, the cat's dead at the exact same
Oh,
time.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
So if I lift up the box at 10 o'clock on the nose, when that thing's going to drop and hit that radioactivity and kill the
Mhm.
cat, there's a chance, right, that you could pick up that box and that cat's alive.
There's a good, yeah. There's a chance.
Right.
So
But there's also a chance, because I've already tested this before, that I'm going to pick up that box and that cat's going to be dead.
I was picturing a glass box.
No, you can't see into it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, well, I can see right in there.
Right. No, it's
Dude, this stuff's
I'm sorry.
brain
I
melting.
thought,
I'm telling you.
yeah, I was going to say, I thought you kind of just understood that, because I was saying you don't know until you observe it. That's why I was saying that.
Oh yeah, and so the observation for me was this.
Right.
I was like
No.
turning and looking. I
You
wasn't
actually
lifting.
had to
them.
lift the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like at 10 o'clock, the box is down, completely covered. You can't see in it. 10 o'clock hits, that thing drops on that thing. And you're standing there and you're like, man, is the cat alive or dead? And what's the guy going to answer? Well, I don't know until we lift up that box and check.
So you got to observe it. Yeah.
Right.
That's really, really interesting.
So that's where they
mean,
kind
that
of
makes
got
sense.
that principle from, was Schrodinger's cat.
Huh. And there you have it.
Edward, and he's in here right here. He's in this picture up at the top row.
How come you never see any of these guys? Well, it was 1929, but I don't see any of
Right
these guys
behind
with like
Einstein.
huge muscles. There's like no, because I'm trying to switch to fitness here for a minute.
You know what's crazy is nobody was into fitness back then.
Jack
If
LaLange.
you were like in the 20s, if you were into fitness, you were like on the freak show or something.
Oh yeah,
you
you'd
muscle
be the
guy.
strong guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be the strong guy or strong man or whatever it
Exactly.
was.
That's how crazy it was.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's true. Huh.
Yeah.
I think that tallest man from Illinois, or what it was from Illinois at some point, I think my grandma had actually met him, tallest man one day.
I think, wasn't he from like Wheeling, dude?
I don't know if it was from Wheeling.
Or like right around where we grew up?
That
No?
would be really cool. We'll have to check
thought
and
it
drop a note
was.
if it was, but
thought
I
it
remember
was.
my grandmother telling stories about him or something. It's really weird.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, tallest man. But he would have been on the freak show too.
that's
See,
what I'm saying. He would have been,
not in the NBA.
and it probably wasn't even. Yeah, it's like, oh, this guy was 6'7", and you're like, there's guys that are 7'2",
7-Eleven, dude.
That would have been 7-Eleven, really?
Yeah, there's some
That's
dude.
disgusting.
What's his name, man? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But he's almost too tall to where he can't even play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, a lot of those guys have, the coordination is just off. The center of gravity is way too high, and you could just, knock them over.
Yeah.
They should be in a different sport, to be honest with you. Go play volleyball.
Dude, I was just gonna say,
Damn.
see some of those. You see some of those dudes. Like there's I think John Isner's like 6'10", 6'11",
Yeah,
the tennis
man,
player.
You can't even.
Just a month. Imagine him dropping
Tennis
bomb
player.
serves on you. He's hitting 140 miles an hour, just
Straight down. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man, I should have seen the video. So Payne loves tennis now, and obviously
Yeah.
he's got this little broken arm with this cast. And the other day he's like, "Dad, we got to go." Last night we got to go play tennis, and I was like,
Yeah.
"All right, man, you got to play lefty." He's like, "That's cool. If I can't do it,
Nadal, baby.
we'll come back home." No way. So I have a bag full of balls. Like the first round, he caught like 3 of them. Next round, it was like 7 of 10. And then after that, he's just like, well, bam, well, bam, well, bam, just crushing him lefty and like
Nadal,
pop,
baby.
pop.
I love it.
I'm like, go get it, kid. Go get it.
Dude, lefties are hard to play, bro.
Yeah, I've heard some of these parents that make their kids lefties on purpose, like maybe even Mickelson, because I know the only thing he does, Phil Mickelson, is play golf lefty. But
Well, you could do the ambidextrous
I don't know if that's like a
thing and just,
thing I would try. Yeah, like that's kind of like
I wouldn't
you're-
force it on.
Yeah,
I would
you're
just,
taking the dominant side away from whatever. But
Yeah, no, I would definitely not do that. But just to even just it's the challenge more than anything.
what are you doing? Speaking of that type of stuff, so I know last time we talked, you were working with a mace. You went
Hell
to this
yeah.
mace thing. Are you still swinging that? What are you working into now?
I got a medicine ball, the soft ones.
Yep.
So I've been messing with that. And then I got that weighted bar. That's like my favorite thing. I was just fucking
Oh, the
around with
weighted
that.
bar. That's right.
Yeah. So that weighted bar is like my thing. I use that like every day. And then the treadmill. I've been messing around on the treadmill. I haven't been swinging the mace too much because I've been indoors. It's already kind of shitty and cold here.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm afraid of, baby.
that's the only problem with the mace is that my ceilings are too
Shit.
low to start swinging. But you know what I want to get back into? What I've been looking into, speaking of working out and shit, is I've got all my boxing gear from when I took like 2 years of boxing,
Oh.
and I might put a heavy bag in the garage, or I might try to see if I can convince Rachel to to hold pads for me. So
Oh, I'm sure she would. She seems like the type that would be up for
well, she
whatever
did
you're
it. She
for,
did
you
it
know?
for a
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
Whoop up, whoop up. I speaking of that, I was talking to weightlifting. I was talking to Phil Ing the other day, chatting.
Billy,
Yeah, man, I want to get him on the show. Like, if not this
Jesus,
show, my own show, he'll do it. I bet. He was like, I'm just going back to Hong Kong for this new TV show press release or something. I'm like, good for you,
dude,
dude.
that's crazy,
And he
bro.
was doing deadlifts on his Facebook stories, and I said, he said something, and I said,
Such
well,
an
hey, dude,
animal.
what's up with the deadlifts? And, why are you doing them or whatever? He's like, honestly, Joel, he's like, you should incorporate this 2 days a week.
Explosive.
He goes, this will make you so much stronger faster. It's unbelievable. And you don't even, he's like, I do it once, maybe twice a week. But he's like, just take it easy and throw it in. And so we've been
Dude,
going back and forth, but I'm planting the seed that I will have him on a show.
I deadlift the kettlebells all the time, but I want to get a bar. I was actually looking into this too. I want to get a bar with some weights and just have, something I could just straight deadlift for real.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% in agreement, dude. Deadlifting is like one of those things that'll just make you explosive. It'll make you like super powerful. Like he said, like you won't even realize it, but you'll go to like pick up the vacuum and like throw it through the fucking ceiling. It's just like crazy shit. Like you won't even realize it, dude. It's
Do you
nuts.
remember so Tim Ferriss, this guy, this
Old
gentleman, I'm sure you
mate.
do. So I saw a video of him and he was talking about going into the gym and doing the minimum movement. And there's a video of it where it looks like he's doing a deadlift, but it's only like maybe to his mid thighs. And he goes in and he goes, and he only does like a 5-inch, 6-inch move, man. I'm telling you. And he
Sure.
said posterior chain. He's like, I figured out that I can, if I do this with heavy weight and I only do, like, he was in there for 15 minutes, not even. And he's like, I'm done. I mean, he has other workouts, but he's like that was it. And because of the way that the large muscles were secreting the hormones and the way it was changing his body,
Sure.
and he's like, this is the most efficient move. Like you would overtrain if you even went any further. Like, this is all you need to essentially like ignite what your body needs. It was really strange. I thought it was cool. I'll send you the video and I'll put a link down below. It was fun to see.
See, man.
Like the movement was seriously, and there were people sitting around like, what the hell is he doing? Because it was like a 6-inch lift.
The Scrooge McDuck theory, dude, still
What's
holds
that?
true.
What's that?
Work smarter, not harder.
Is that what he said? I thought he was a crazy lunatic.
He is a crazy lunatic.
Or that was
Scrooge
Launchpad
McDuck.
McQuack.
Yeah, no, yeah. Launchpad was the lunatic. Scrooge McDuck was swimming in money. And his theory
true.
was work smarter, not harder. That's what he used to tell Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
I didn't know that. We haven't been
Yeah.
watching that. We've been watching a lot of Tweety Bird lately, which is cool.
Okay.
That Payne likes that.
Old
YouTube,
school stuff.
Looney Tunes, old school. I was like, let's stop watching this stuff. Let's watch some old school. But they're so violent too. Those old school ones are always like slapping each other around and dropping. But it's so
dude,
great.
Some
So
of the stuff that I find from back in the day, like even just like storybooks and shit, like Little Sambo and stuff, super fucking racist.
Oh
Just
gosh,
crazy
they're
shit.
doing blackface and stuff, and they're
Dude.
just.
I was like, what? I was blown
I
away.
noticed
was
that
like,
too.
No wonder they pulled the shit off the shelves, bro. Wow.
I noticed that too. It's cool though that all of it is backed by like an orchestra. All that music is like strings and horns. It's like classical
you're
music in the
talking,
background of like Looney
cartoons.
Tunes and the
Love
cartoons
it.
and stuff. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And it's all like the Foley work and like the sound effects and everything, and like everything was so tight back then, because if you made like one mistake, they made you do the whole fucking thing over. They didn't take like, yeah, oh yeah, good job, close enough, I'll just fix it in post type of shit. It was fucking reel to reel, dude. You had to do it money. And if you didn't do it, you got somebody beat your ass out in the back, in the alley or something, because it cost a shit ton of money to redo that reel.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think
Shit
being a
was
Foley
different.
artist would be really fun, wouldn't it?
Oh,
It's
it
like
was
breaking
super fun.
glass and like smashing stuff to
I
like try to
took
get the
two-
noise right.
Yeah, I took 2 classes like that in college, and it
Oh,
was
at Columbia?
awesome. Yeah, it was so much fun, dude.
I bet.
So much fun. They would just give you like the
Random
scene,
shit.
like the beginning scene of Indiana Jones, like where he was running from the Indians, and they're shooting the darts at him. He's trying to get to the plane to take off, and there's a snake in the plane. So like that whole beginning scene, where he swaps the bag with the fucking
Oh
idol.
yeah, he's like shit.
And Dr. Jones, we meet again, Dr. Jones, and stuff like that. And so you had to do the voiceover work and everything.
That's great.
So I did I
man.
did all the characters, and I actually had somebody come in to do one of the other characters, like one of my buddies, Stu Watkins.
Stewie.
Stu did one of the other characters, and then I took the music, like you said, I took the music from Back to the Future and used it in Indiana Jones, because it was almost like the same style, like you said, like a symphony,
John Williams maybe or something.
Yeah, I think it was John
It
Williams
might
for
have
both.
been. Yeah.
And I was like, this is perfect. And then you just cut it in there, and then everybody would play all of their Indiana Jones scenes.
Damn, that's fun, man.
Dude, it was so fucking fun.
See,
dude.
back
Crazy
then, like
awesome.
that's the shit I wanted to do, and I just, in my mind, I just felt that I was told I have to blame it on that. That's not like if you were an artist or a writer or a photography, like you weren't going to make money doing
money. Yeah, you can't make a career out of it.
You can't make a career out of it, and you could have, but maybe they just didn't know anybody that had, or I don't know. It's like
You're 100%. You could do that with everything, and that's one of the things that holds people back all the time, is listening to other people, because other people probably gave up at a point where you could power through no problem, or you could probably figure that out if it was like a difficult like a math problem or something. You could figure that shit out. You can get past that hurdle. Maybe they didn't have it in them. Maybe they didn't give it enough time. Maybe they didn't work hard enough. Maybe they didn't know. I don't know.
So here's what a message I want to leave on this podcast for whoever's listening. First of all, if anybody listens and comments, the first one to comment on this podcast, whatever you comment, I'll send you a Crush Live t-shirt. I just want to say that because I got to get rid of some of these things.
Say it again.
All right. First one to comment on this show, not you and not me.
I already got that shirt, and
I will send you a shirt. I will send you a shirt. I got a box of shirts, and hopefully I have your size. So comment, let me know. Booyah. Was today. Okay.
Okay.
You had said something to me when I sent you that book, and you're like, oh yeah, I already tried that, or something like that.
Book.
And I was like, okay, well, you don't do audiobooks. Like, who cares? I'm just telling you this book's great. And like, it's like that with, it's like that when people ask or tell people about their ideas, right? The people will say, and this is for the people, if somebody's telling you their idea, here's what I want you to say. That sounds fun. How can I help?
I was just going to say, I already knew you were going
That sounds fun. How can I help? Or what does it matter? Like, well, that's not going to work. Dude, or blah, blah, blah. It's too much expensive. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I always ask people, how can I help you? Because it's, a lot of times they won't say anything, or they'll say, oh, do you know anybody that, does illustrations? I'm trying to write a children's book or something.
Yeah, yeah. You know anybody that does web design for free? Something like that.
Yeah.
But even if you hear that, you could just at least say to them, like I did to you. What did I say? You said something to me. Oh, you're like, I wanted to look into doing, a gym thing or working out thing. And I started firing off links at you right away that I just found, it's just something simple like that.
That's
now, maybe
best,
that
dude.
won't do shit for you. Maybe it was wasted time, but you know what? Maybe you watch that one video and you just see, oh yeah, I should get some of the big ass tires. I could probably get that pretty cheap down the road. I've seen this guy, he's got this shit, you'd be like, oh yeah, I could get that pretty cheap too. It just jogs your thinking process a little bit. Even if the video sucks. I'm not saying that the video is going to be fucking Oscar worthy, but you might see the dude has these fucking gloves that he's using, or maybe he's deadlifting or something. I don't know.
Or maybe it's the video right next to it. You know what I mean? Exactly. It's like that video led you to this video.
AI to give you a different video that does make the difference.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You said something to me the other day though about the gym, because I will be opening a gym at some point in my life, and I'm hoping it's within the next maybe 5 years, but probably less. I'll be going to start with the farm idea first, but you had just said, I love that for you because you know me, but then you're also like, there's a proven model out there for that. And I think not subconsciously, but I think around the way you were relating that to No Booze 30 in a way. I don't know. I felt because obviously that's what I'm kind of doing right now on the side. And so,
for sure.
I took that and I was like, I get it. And there is a proven model for it. And so, but also like the No Boost 30 comes up on the back end of it, and Crush Life is deeply ingrained in it's like so perfect.
All three together.
Yeah, because I would be able to help people, mentally and spiritually, whatever, but like physically.
Dude, you gotta fucking listen to the Joe Rogan episode
Which
where
one?
he has Joe DeSena on it, the guy that runs Spartan, because this is your fucking blueprint. He's saying exactly what you're saying, and what he does is he's got this farm in Vermont that he bought on the cheap, and he'll have guys like us go out there, me and you, and he used to be a Wall Street guy. He used to be a huge investment Wall Street guy, tons of money, lived in New York, had everything going for him, and it was just like, I'm done. Fuck this lifestyle. I'm going up and I'm going to buy a farm in Vermont, and I'm going to work the farm, and I'm going to have people up there, and I'm going to help people out. And he had a guy where the guy was like 750 pounds. He brought him in, got him on raw fruits and vegetables. He tells all these stories on Rogan, by the way. But you get my point. Just listen to this episode. You will fucking fall in love with him. Oh, that's one of the links I sent you was Joe DeSena's link.
Yeah, I actually saw the name. I didn't click it yet. I wasn't in a spot. I needed to. Yeah,
You'll
lot 23. Lot 23, baby.
Dude, I love that.
Is what it will
too.
be. And
great name.
It doesn't even have to. There doesn't have to be a building on the land.
No,
actually,
nothing. Your house. That's it.
There. And not even that. I mean, if I didn't even build one yet, I could literally just.
I would get a barn just for lightning 100%. Protection.
Well, 100%.
No, you could utilize a barn. That would be badass.
I know the property I'm looking at out there in Nebraska is
balls deep.
3 or 5, I think it's 5 acres, and it's only like 410K, and it's got like a 60 by 40 barn and another 20 by 40 barn. I know. The house though needs like $100,000 worth of work.
So what?
So live in the barn.
That's what you do. You say you make that part of the deal. You say, hey man, if I'm going to do this, if I can't get this house into shape, then how the fuck am I going to run a gym behind it? You got to start selling yourself like that. That's how I always say to myself, I go, if I can't figure out this computer problem, how the fuck am I going to build a crypto mine and make money with this crypto mine? Sure. And boom, it'll just launch me into the, like, you're right, dude. I got to figure this. This is ridiculous.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, at some point then I'm like, well, do I need to buy a $400,000 property to have a gym and a barn? Or can I just, first start in a retail shop somewhere on the outskirts of town with a garage door that with a field? Like, I'm trying to see like what other options. And then maybe that's like step 2, or buy a property that actually has a more livable house in it. I mean, because if I want to pour the money into the barn to like make the gym, then the house money goes
property.
So it's like, I'm toying with it. I've been doing a ton of research, and I'm telling you.
Yeah, I like it. Keep doing the research. Yeah. If just based on what you're saying, I always like the home improvement route, and you get the property. So you get the property because that gives you the space to do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. And then, like I said, you break it down. So like you said, if the house needs $100,000 of work, you say, okay, is the roof, you do the main shit for, what I'm talking about. You do the main shit first. There's a roof. Okay. Is there any leaks in the fucking place? The windows,
foundations,
okay. The main shit, Yeah. And then once you knock that out, you can live in it. You're fine. You're not going to die.
Well, I can. I don't know. I got somebody else that has to live there too.
But that's okay. Get her involved, get her involved and motivate her to get involved, to do some of the decorating, to do some of the planning, the layout, any type of shit like that. Colors, all that stuff. And I'm not saying that's a chick thing, but if she wants to get into the hiring the roofing contractor, let her fucking hire the roofing contractor. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, get the basic shit done first, move in, start your shit, do some of the stuff yourself, learn how to do some of the plumbing, put your own toilets in, put your own sink in, do some of that type of shit, build some of the furniture. You're all about that. That's perfect for you. Set some of that shit up in the garage and you build your fucking furniture. Save a ton of money there. Start doing shit like that. Then eventually you turn the whole process into the gym into the, and you can document this. If you set up a
I
camera
like
on the
that.
tripod, you document this shit and you throw it on YouTube, you can make a side hustle out of it, which will pay for some of this rehab.
And that's
Maybe
what,
then
yeah.
people get you eyeballs and they're like, hey, I'll sponsor you. I got this lumber company, you know?
Lumberg
I
fucker.
don't know.
Dude, you're
Lumber.
right. And my thought was actually to try to get the farm gym going to fund, because if it's just paying the mortgage on the house, you know, if you're making three grand a month or whatever it is and you're paying for it, not a big deal. So that's why I was like, well, what if you focus on the gym first to actually generate income and then put it towards the house as far as dumping in the house and then thinking about how you're going to build a gym. It's like the gym's not making you money. I mean, the
I
house
like
isn't
that.
making you money. The gym's making you money. And so that's anywhere where my head was at. But this is a good conversation, you
The
know?
house can make you money if you film it and you put it on YouTube and you do that. It also
That's
can
true.
make you money if you
That's
do
true.
something like, if you need to replace the roof, you replace the roof and you get solar installed. So now you're off the grid and you have solar
Or
going. So
going
now boom.
off the grid.
So you have a bunch of opportunities to make that work as well. And I think that you just have to keep this in mind too. If you're gonna make the gym thing work,
Mm-hmm.
you're selling you.
Oh, yeah.
You're selling yourself, not necessarily, like you said, a storefront in a strip mall, or your backyard, or whatever you want to sell as far as that's concerned. So I would try to sell yourself, but I would also try to stand out. The
It
best way
will
to do is
be, and
stand
it's
out.
going to be about and that's what my thought process is going to be about the experience. You know, it's not
Yeah,
going to be like a gym and like a class, which it will be, but I want to over deliver on service. I want to over deliver on all of that stuff, you know, and it's like, I think my
stand out.
heart and who I am is what's going to stand out. Like I'll naturally have people that we all, you know, we'll have people gravitate towards us. So that's kind of one of my goals, and that's a perfect segue to what's yours, because I know you got the mining rig going. I know
Time
you're
machine.
neck deep in books, but so you're what? That's in the top three that we, or the five and
Time
25
machine.
time machines on it.
Number one.
Number one.
I'm gonna be the guy.
You're convinced
I'm
this is
100%
this is
convinced.
happening? Who is the guy? Who is the guy that puts out the most? I mean, was it still Einstein? But like, who's the guy that puts out the most convincing argument that right now that it can work?
Well,
Do you
they've
have?
already proven that time travel is possible. I could do it right now. I just don't have the money. So anybody that
Love it.
goes to the International Space Station and comes back is time traveling. Anybody that
Understandable.
that leaves and goes away from our planet at a certain, well, any
You
speed
have to
really.
go a certain distance, maybe, right? I mean,
Well, here's how it works. So our time is based on our planet, or
sure.
our version of time is based on our planet.
Mhm.
So they've already figured out through quantum physics and stuff that time doesn't even exist. It's out of the equation now.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, we made it up to measure it, right?
right, right.
Yeah.
We made it up, and that was one of the things that they've just, this doesn't exist. Get it out. So they so here's how
So it's
our
just
time works.
traveling now. There's no. It's just traveling,
It's
not time
it's
travel.
actually bending space. That's
Okay.
how it works.
Sure.
So our time works like this. The further you get away from the center of the planet, the more time changes for you. So if you're
Mhm.
down at sea level like this, time is different for us than it is for somebody in Denver. And our clocks will actually move different based on that. Just because they're at a higher altitude than us. Like somebody at the top of Mount Everest, their clock moves different than us. Somebody at on the International Space
I
Station,
can
like
see
I
that.
said, their clock won't be synced with us. And I can't remember if they're going to be fast or slow. I don't remember.
Okay.
If they come back though, their clock would be different than ours. And
Slower, maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say it.
Yeah.
But like I said, so if you travel away from the planet, like at the speed of light or something like that, and you travel a couple light years out and you come, back, there's going to be like 40 years. That time dilation is going to just be insane. And it's
Mhm.
all based on, speed, and energy, and you bending this time, space time, and all that, or this fabric. I shouldn't even call it space time. That's just a name. It's just like a fabric, or these entanglements, what is what they really are. But dude, there was some crazy shit that I figured out last night, and I got to rewatch this because it was a YouTube video. I'll even send it. We can put it in the show notes, whatever.
Okay.
But it was a YouTube video about quantum physics, and it's just a history lesson. But at the end, this one dude said some crazy shit because they're doing the thing where you think about random stuff like we were talking about, just throwing around ideas. You don't know, so you just kick around ideas.
Yeah.
Like my favorite philosophical scientific discussion of all time was in Revenge of the Nerds Part 2, where Ogre goes, what if CAT really spells duck?
Sure.
I say that all the time because that's one of my favorite of all time, but it's like one of those things where it just blew everybody's mind because that's the type of shit that quantum physics does. It's like, wow, what if it really does? And we just fucked this up the whole time. Well, that's kind of what, quantum physics has proved about everything, is that we've just fucked all this up the whole time. But at the end, like I said, this guy shows this thing about, quantum entanglement and stuff like that. And he was saying that they're finding evidence right now that the quantum entanglement is actually what's, the dark matter, or what's connecting everything.
Sure.
And we live in this gigantic like mesh, but because of like what we were saying with, if you move this, dice, this dice will move with it. So even if there's no hand on it, it'll just free float, and they're entangled, and it could be across, light years. Like I said, it doesn't have to be right next to each other.
That's
it could be
interesting.
light years away.
Yeah.
And if I move this one, that one moves light years away. And
That's
you don't know why they're entangled, and you don't know, which ones are, or anything like that yet. We don't know any of this yet. But one of these guys was saying that there's a theory out there that the entanglement is actually connected to a larger bubble that, holds everything kind of in place, right?
Okay.
And so inside of this bubble is all of this entanglement, like a huge spider web. And we're in there, and all the galaxies and all the different, black holes, all of this stuff in our universe is in this gigantic bubble that has all this entanglement. And on the skin of this bubble is where the other parts of everything exists. So it's a projection actually on this bubble that then manifests inside of the bubble, with this entanglement, invisibly making all of this happen. So we're doing all of this, but it's because somebody else is a puppet master, basically, with these strings that are attached to us, making all of this happen.
That's
essentially. Yeah. It might not even be a who. It could be just like a force. It could be an energy. It could be that other part. Like I said, like there's two different parts to protons. Let's just use a proton, for example. These two protons could be light years away from each other. But if this one proton moves and jumps from one orbit to another orbit inside of the nucleus of this atom, it'll happen across light years in the exact same second, exact same, identical, like they're twins, like they're connected, like there's no difference, dude.
The deeper and deeper and deeper we go into these things, and like the further into the sky that you can see, only to me proves that this wasn't a fucking accident.
Dude, they already seen to the Big Bang.
Not an accident. Yeah, I know, but they can see and they can't see past. And then they like to say how they think that the Big Bang started, but they don't know pre that. And so that, to me, it's like you're guessing on bullshit. Like, dude, I'm sorry, but you're guessing on bullshit.
Well, that's exactly it. And that's the beauty of quantum physics too, is that they've pretty much called bullshit on all of it.
Good.
On all of it. And they're saying, here, this is the proof. I mean, everything, even to the point of like, how we were taught, like this atom, like I was just telling you, has all these little orbits, and there's a nucleus inside, and there's a proton and electrons, and this is how this all works. That's all bullshit. It's all fucking wrong. Just like the food pyramid, the food pyramid is this, all fucking wrong. Just like
cell phones don't cause cancer, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
well, that's yet to be seen.
Or don't melt your brain. Yeah, just like cigarettes, like we talked about the other day. I mean, it's too early to call, but yet they're
no cigarettes, we know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the phones, though, they say it's too early to call, but it does to some extent if you blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, well, you think the money behind that technology is ever going to allow that to ever be known? No way. Same with cigarettes. You know how bad the tobacco companies buried that shit?
Well, look at CTE in the NFL.
Yeah, same stuff.
It happens all the time.
And then it was like, well, they say, keep your phone farther away from you and put it in Bluetooth headphone. I'm telling you, ever since I've had my iPad Pros, I swear it fucks with my brain.
You
Like I've had a couple like things where I'm like literally had a shock through my brain, and I was like,
short circuiting.
and he was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "I don't know." Like we were going into the store, and I was like, "Fuck." And like sometimes I'll put it in, and I'll just have like this weird feeling, and so I'll take it out. That's weird.
See, that's what was happening to me, dude. There was weird shit dropping and falling and stuff, and I was like, "There's nobody in here, dude. I'm in this room, locked in this room by myself. What the fuck is going on over there?"
She locks you in.
Quantum entanglement.
You don't even lock the door. She locks you in.
No, I didn't lock myself.
Now you can't come out. Now you can't leave.
The only way that anyone can get in here is through those two doors. COVID sneeze.
Oh, I thought you were like, something's about to happen. My Bob Ross. Bless you.
COVID sneeze. Sorry. See, look, it's falling behind you too.
I know. I knocked it down.
Oh, sorry.
So, all right. We got the body. We got the mind. We got the
goals.
The goal is, I love that you said that. So I need to think of a goal that makes me laugh about it to some extent. Well, then I would.
I mean, I like your goal. It's the farm gym.
No, that is a goal, but I mean, that's not like the end all be all goal. That's like a great goal for me to replace everything I have as far as like everything I want kind of into one. There, I can make money. I can coach. I can be physically fit. It's like a place I can go. It's like that
happiness, all
right? Happiness, all that stuff. But then like, I'm still going to have a barn like with a band. I'm still going to be writing music. Like my laughable goal would be like pulling off like going into my 50s and being like a Willie Nelson or a George Strait to some or a Jimmy Buffett type of
albums, or start a record label or something.
Yeah, like a Jimmy Buffett type of guy where I'm a songwriter and I get some songs cut and I sing a few and like
imagine
whatever.
Turning one of them fucking barns into a studio, bro.
Oh, that's already happening, baby.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So in my mind, like this is just my mind again. This is not your mind.
No.
If I'm listening to this and I'm hearing this and I'm going to analyze this and tell you what I think, my theory is yes, I love the gym thing, the workout thing, the body thing to make your living.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think your laughable goal, like holy shit, that's crazy, is you having a studio on that farm where fucking Willie Nelson's recording there. And, you know, not Willie Nelson.
I know, I like this.
You get what I mean? Like somebody huge, Blake Sheldon or something, you know, craziness. I want craziness. I want you to be like, you know, somebody fucking huge. And then when it happens, you'll laugh even more. You
know why? You're right. And you know why it's really plausible too is we're right off Highway 80, which is the artery for any country or any axe, I should say, to go, you know, east, west. You can take a southern route, but if you're cutting from anywhere Midwest towards Colorado and out west, you're coming straight through there. And so
well, if you make a name for yourself big enough, you know, or you do it right and you're real in an industry like fucking music, again, you're gonna sell yourself.
Yeah,
and
it's
just gonna be like some badass fucking backwoods barn setup bullshit where like it's legendary. People be like, you want to go fucking make an album? You really want to make a fucking album? There's this dude.
Yeah.
There's this guy in Nebraska.
I know this guy in Nebraska.
He got a farm. I'm not even joking you about this.
No, my dream was to build the studio in South Dakota up by that course we have, because that would, and where you're like pheasant hunting.
Eventually you can
and
get
you're recording.
To that.
Yeah, that's the deal. So keep going though. I like
two of them. But I'm saying, like, you're telling you know, some guys like, hey man, how do I get big in the fucking music business? You know, I've been tried everything, nothing works. And there's this real successful dude, like we don't even know who his name is right now. He's in the future, 5 years, 10 years. And he's like, hey man, you really want to know? There's this dude who lives in fucking Nebraska. He's got a farm. Nebraska. In one of these barns. You're gonna think there's fucking cows in these barns, right? But in those barns, he's got a fucking portal into like the future of music, and he just yanks out the most kick-ass fucking shit from the portal in the future of music and drops it back in your fucking lap and says, here you go. And then you walk out of there and you're fucking set. You're made.
Booyah.
You want this guy's number? You know, and they'll be like, of course I want this guy's number. And then it'll be like, well, you can't have it. You can't have it. You got to earn it.
We'll be like, there's a portal and you can time travel through it as well.
This guy knows a guy. He literally built a fucking portal. You know, like, this is no joke. Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking funny.
You got to earn it. What do you mean I got to earn it? You ever see Karate Kid? And they'll be like, what are you talking about? Karate Kid, you know, Karate Kid where he makes them fucking wax the cars.
You got to wax off. Yeah, totally, dude.
You You can go to the dude's farm, and he'll be at the gate, and he'll make you probably sit at the gate for like. You ever see Fight Club? The guy be like, yeah, remember how he had to sit in the fucking front porch for like 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, it was a long time.
And live in the fucking front porch. He makes you do shit like that before he'll even let you record there, bro.
I like that shit. You know, that would be epic. You said something that really sparked it, and I forgot it now. But I was like, "Damn, that's really
sparked it."
Yeah, I was like, "Well," but then you had me thinking of
I kept going.
The guy on the porch. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a really good one, man." Just like make them wait it out and see how bad they really want it, type of thing. This is what it was. This is what it was. Yeah, there's a whole project. I could have them sanding the floor in the new house because we need the floors redone.
That's the fucking Karate
painting the fence, and you're like, "What, Joel? Why are we painting the fence?" Like, just trust me.
What does this have to do with anything, Joel?
Like, do you know how to do any drywall?
Hi-hat. I wanted you to get the hi-hat better. You're a drummer. You needed to get the
you really
going.
gotta get it in there.
I wanted you to
don't you know
the fence, the crash.
We got chinas.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's funny.
It's the guitar swing.
He's like, look, you're never going to know in the moment. Just get busy painting the bathroom. Yeah. And if you can change that toilet, I'll do it. He's like, is this really
recycling night? Shut the fuck up. It's recycling night.
Why don't you run down and pick me up a coffee? That'll teach you some humility.
Yeah.
So
Why are you doing all this? Well, why don't you go mow my lawn?
Yeah. Well, hey, I like that idea. It's funny. A fresca. The crunch, baby. What I got, so my cousin's gym, it's 5,000 square feet. And look, here's the exact thing. It's huge in a town of 1,100 people.
Oh, it's even better.
Right? 1,100 people, and he's crushing it. He's doing great. Like, and then he's taken that, and he's taken that, and he's bought up a bunch of real estate in town. He bought like 70 or 80 like acres up top. It's platted out. He's selling lots. Like the kid's in his 30s. Like, Nate, good for you, dude.
Wheeling and dealing now.
And it stemmed off this gym. And the funny thing is, he said, I started this with my friends. I thought it was going to be me and these guys. He's like, next thing you know, I'm training all these girls in like high school sports, and then going off to college. And all of a sudden, it's like it just became something I didn't even know. I didn't even know if there were this many people that would do this in my town.
Man, you nailed it, dude. You nailed it. That's why I tell everybody about, like if you want to start a business, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to write a book, you want to do all this shit, right? Everybody's like, all right, yeah, let's look into it.
Nobody ever does shit.
Well, you're right. We'll YouTube it. We're going to plan it. I got this notebook. I'm going to go to Target, get this notebook. I'm going to get a pen, and I'm going to get this stuff, and I'm going to buy all this stuff, right, for this adventure. But then they never do anything, right? And the reason why I say this is because, like you just said, if you just start and you just start making the time machine, like I said, I was just like, okay, what do I need to do to make this realistic? It's a fucking time machine. How do I make this
telephone booth or something?
I'm like, dude, yeah. I'm like, I need to know way more fucking math. So that's the first place I started. I was like, all right, let's go back to math fucking 101, and we'll start from there. And literally we'll go through the whole thing. And I'm going to take as serious as a fucking heart attack and learn as much math as I can. Now that might be the ticket to something else. Right. But the thing is you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know the path. You don't know the plan. You don't know where you're going to go until you leave, until you start. Like your buddy just said, he thought he was just going to run some fucking gym so he could have some spots to deadlift and listen to metal. Next thing you know,
exactly right.
Next thing you know, he's training fucking WNBA chicks, and he's got their posters on the fucking wall, and they're coming back as alumni, bringing other girls there. And you're like, God damn, dude, this is crazy.
Dude, the guy plays nothing but classic rock. I mean, Motley Crue, like it's just awesome. And on the wall, it's him with Def Leppard. Yeah. Him. He went to see Def Leppard. They got backstage, and he's with my cousin, his dad, and they're just like total country guys. Like his dad is just awesome, man.
Yeah, and they're embracing who they are.
Yeah, it's great, and they're both like 6'4". Just string beans. Yeah, they're just cool as hell, man.
Oh, they're string beans. I thought.
Well, they're skinny, but he is. I mean, my cousin Nate is like obviously legit. I mean, this is his life, right?
I don't have enough fat to even pretend like I'm muscular anymore.
I'm telling you, if it wasn't for this ileostomy, I had my shirt off this morning or earlier today, and I was trying to show Jenny. I was like, Jenny, I'm looking really like, this is probably the best I've looked in a while. And
I'm looking.
I know I had to
really
say it.
good.
I was like, because I feel good about it. You know, like I feel, but I'm not strong enough, and so I can't wait. I found a gym. It's right behind here, $150, and it's a CrossFit gym, and I'm gonna use it how I want to use it. Like I'm not going to do full on CrossFit because I don't want to do all
Okay.
those Olympic
What's the
lifts.
plan here?
Also,
then?
because of my high
Yeah.
risk of hernia.
Back. hmm
But I'll just
The worst.
I'll figure it out.
Hernias.
Speaking of which, yeah, hernias are. I've had a couple. Speaking of which, Jenny found this really cool product for the ileostomy that I have, where it's like they put like a metal sheath on the skin, and it like. So then you can just put a cap on it. You don't even have to have a bag or anything.
Oh, okay.
You just put a cap there, which they have more sometimes for ostomies.
In the way, or it's just less pain in the ass.
Oh, dude, it's really cool. And it's like, look, you can go for a run. It's not going to come off. You can go for a swim. You don't have to worry about it. And
That's
then
dope.
when you have to release it, you'll feel pressure like you used to when you had to go to the bathroom, right? Because now you just kind of like whenever you want to do it, you can do it. But she just sent it to me like the other night, dude. It's amazing. I think it's through clinical trials already. But a lot of this stuff comes a lot of times out of like Holland and stuff. You know, like they're just really kind of, I would say, advanced in a way, but also their FDA isn't. It's almost crazy. More strict than ours, but they also allow them to. Like whenever you go like for some sort of testing that they don't allow here, you'll go to Germany, you'll go to
Germany
and stuff like that. You know, it's like. So it's interesting, but I'm excited. I mean, it would be cool to try to see that. Yeah. And then if it doesn't work or something goes wrong or blah, 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 they can just take it out and just put you back the way you were. I mean,
and the future is going to be crazy, dude. Eventually they're going to figure out some shit to fix everything, dude. I'm really convinced of that.
Well, I mean, they should be able to 3D print me a new large intestine.
Shit like that. Truthfully. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. And it will happen.
Shit.
And it will. And they're already doing it. It's just a matter of getting stuff like you said, like an intestine of yours and growing it or having
there you go.
All that shit works. I'm thinking that they're going to even take it one step further. They're going to have like legit, this is going to be a super rich thing first, obviously. Yeah. And we'll be long dead by this time. But they're going to have.
You have a time machine, Brasky?
Well, I can't give away all my secrets yet.
You won't be here. I'll be here.
I'm sorry. Gonna be everywhere, Joel. You'll catch me at the Led Zeppelin concert in '76. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
That's the type of shit that I'll go see Pink Floyd at the fucking Coliseum or whatever they were playing.
Let's go see Bob Marley in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I don't even remember what I was gonna say. But there was something I was doing with my hands like this.
Yeah, it looks good.
Something with my hands.
It's when you were like two things weighed, but they were almost the same. Yeah, I'm not sure which one weighs more, but they're close. Let's cut it. I don't know.
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah,
Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. That's what I was doing. Who was I driving around with? And I put it on autopilot on the Tesla.
Oh yeah.
They're like, well, what do you do with your hands?
You're like, I play video games. What do you think?
Just laughing, and then Rachel's in the back seat.
She knew
doing the Ricky Bobby lines, dude. It was so funny, bro.
That's really good.
Yes, no, it's perfect because it's almost midnight, and the wife's gonna yell because that vent right there leads right up to the bedroom, and if she starts going to sleep up there, and she's got to get up early in the morning and do some stuff because she works like
you just blow fat hits up there.
She sleep.
Yeah, she'll never wake up. You're just like,
that's she comes downstairs and she's
you don't even smoke it.
Amazing dreams. I was in Wonderland.
You don't even smoke it. You just fog it. You don't even like actually smoke the stuff.
Just burn it. just with a fan. Just blowing it up. It was like a cross between Willy Wonka and Alice in Wonderland.
And what's the Ewok village they go to? Andor or
Andor, the village. All right, I'll end the episode. And all right, this is one of my legendary things. Like Eddie Main thought this was the craziest shit of all time. Main. And every time we'd get super fucked up back in the day, Eddie Mean. Eddie Main. That was a Freudian slip. Eddie Main said, Jones, sing the Ewok song. So here we go. You ready? Noah, chica, Noah. Noah, chickity boom, Iwaku nakuwa. Hallelujah, shaka. Hallelujah, Noah. Halasela sa. Halasela sa. Halasela sa. I'll talk to you on Sunday, dude.
Peace.